telah dilihat. Barangkali ini adalah di antara gambaran yang anda sendiri pernah melihat. Apakah itu sebenarnya? Kita biasa tengok cerita-cerita ya, cerita-cerita seperti Star Trek dan banyak lagi cerita-cerita dari luar negara yang kita lihat mengenai kejadian makhluk asing dan kejadian-kejadian penemuan-penemuan yang dikatakan UFO ini. Hari ini fenomena UFO akan kita bicarakan. Barangkali anda pernah menyaksikannya tetapi tidak pernah membicarakannya dengan sesiapa pun, takut dianggap tidak siuman. Jadi saudara, hari ini kita ada dua tetamu khas hari ini untuk membicarakan tentang UFO. Kita ada seorang yang sebelah kiri saya inilah salah seorang saksi ya, orang yang pernah menyaksikan benda-benda yang aneh dalam dunia ini, iaitu Datin Michiyo Yusof. Apa khabar Datin?
Baik.
Dan kita ada Steve Foley. Steve Foley ini adalah seorang penganjur dan juga seorang kiranya boleh dikatakan peminat untuk mengumpul maklumat-maklumat serta bahan-bahan mengenai UFO ini. Jadi saudara, hari ini kita akan sembang-sembangkan. Jadi makcik-makcik, pakcik-pakcik, adik-adik dan rakan-rakan semua, kalau ingin tahu, duduk depan televisyen, dengarkan, tengok-tengok apa yang kami bicarakan. Dan kita ada beberapa gambar-gambar yang telah kami sempat rakamkan atas bantuan dan kerjasama Steve. Jadi apa kata kalau kita sembang-sembang, izinkan saya berbicara dengan Steve dalam bahasa Inggeris dan barangkali kita akan cuba terjemah lama yang patut ya. Okey Steve, thank you for coming, and Datin, terima kasih kerana hadir. Dan to begin with, mungkin yang pertama sekali mungkin kita akan tanya pada Steve ya, ialah what is actually a UFO?
UFO is an unidentified flying object, often misinterpreted, and we find that maybe only 10% of sightings turn out to be UFOs. Many are identifiable flying objects such as clouds, airplanes, weather balloons, stars, even hoaxes. By the time we get down to the actual number, it's around about the 10% that remain an enigma or unexplainable, and it's that area that we intend to focus on.
Jadi saudara, bermakna UFO ini ataupun objek terbang tidak dikenali ini, setakat yang didapati daripada 100% yang telah diterima maklumatnya, kata Steve 9% saja didapati boleh dipercayai kan, sedang dibuat kajian. Tapi 91% lagi itu itulah lebih baik percaya pada Kaldai daripada percaya pada saya. Ini. Jadi hari ini kita nak sembangkan tentang UFO. Barangkali anda ingin berkongsi pengalaman, boleh telefon kami 800-077. Baik, Steve, when you talk about UFO, now, I mean, what is actually how do you classify it? You know, do you have any kind of criteria so that people would understand, oh, this is UFO and this is not?
Yeah, there are different classifications. We call them close encounters, and you may have heard of the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes.
Well, the first kind, of course, is an observation of one. The second kind is actually some kind of physical evidence, whether it's a burn mark on the ground, of evidence of landing. And third kind, of course, is contact. So
third encounter is
contact of some description.
All right, now these are some of the clippings that you have given us. Can you give a little bit of an explanation? These are true accounts, right?
Yeah, this is shot in Switzerland in the 70s by Edward Billy Meyer. This particular section of footage was taken and verified by the Nippon Television Company, and we'll be looking at that as a case study in depth, because this is there are one or two, should we say, highlights in UFO history, in the sense that they are very notable cases. This one particularly is purported to be contact from the star group, the Pleiades, and this Edward Billy Meyer has purportedly to have contact with these beings. So this is called the beam ship. We're looking at the beam ship now, and he took many photographs. About 800 photographs exist, and we'll possibly see some of those clippings, and about 14 clippings of 8mm footage.
Now,
verification.
the question people may ask would be, I mean, is it a hoax? I mean, anybody can throw this
a frisbee. Yeah, frisbee is the most most popular one.
For all that matter. So how would you know that it is authentically?
Well, it's very difficult. What happens in this particular case? Colonel Wendell Stevens, of the retired colonel from the U.S. Air Force, has spent 11 years investigating this case. He's travelled to Switzerland, interviewed them. They've examined the footage, looked at the photography under electronic testing, and they cannot, if you like, fault it. So it remains that enigma. Whether or not you choose to believe it ultimately is down to the individual. I think ultimately we all must make our own decision about this.
Jadi artinya saudara, setakat ini dah buat ujian dan kajian setakat ini, susah orang nak menafikan itu benar. Susah orang nak menafikan. Dan kalau mengikutkan kata Steve tadi, I'm just trying to relate what you have said. Ada 3 jenis perjumpaan, ya, penemuan ini. Satu yang kita biasa tengok cerita ni, close encounters of the third kind. Ada first kind, second kind, third kind katanya. Yang first ini, yang pertama ini ialah apabila kita cuma dapat melihat saja, observation. Kedua ialah physical what you
evidence,
say? Physical evidence ataupun bukti-bukti nyata, bukti-bukti yang boleh kita nampak, bukti-bukti fizikal. Dan yang ketiga adalah kontak, perhubungan, komunikasi kita dengan makhluk-makhluk inilah ataupun dengan UFO ini. So would there be any close encounter of the fourth kind?
Well, there are, but there are many claims of abductions and abductees.
That is the fourth kind.
That is the fourth kind. Yeah.
Fourth kind. Fourth kind ini yang keempatnya, saudara, ialah yang dia bawa kita jalan-jalan, dia tengok-tengok kita. Itu fourth kind itulah. Ini the question that I may ask for you would be, I'm sure many of us will wonder, have you seen one?
No.
Ini tak tengok lagi. Steve tak tengok lagi.
I would like to.
You would like to. Dia nak sangat tapi tak jumpa. But strangely, some people got that privilege.
That's right. I regard it as a privilege.
I wish it could be me. I can tell you that I've seen it, but I have not. Now, one of those is Michiko, Datin. Yes. Datin pernah tengok benda ni, pernah tengok dengan mata kepala sendiri, bukan mata orang lain. Jadi kita nak tanya, apa yang Datin tengok? Boleh tak cerita tentang pengalaman Datin itu sendiri?
Yeah, I'll start from the very beginning. Do you want me to speak Malay or English?
Okay, better in Malay.
Ya, waktu suami saya bertugas di New Zealand sebagai Malaysian High Commissioner to New Zealand dalam tahun 1978. Jadi satu hari itu, I remember, saya ingat betul-betul, hari Ahad pagi, 8:30 pagi. Waktu itu saya dan suami saya tengah makan sarapan pagi. Ya, saya remember saya pakai baju pink blouse and a skirt. Dan ya, sambil duduk makan tu, sebab saya facing the sea, rumah tu kan
memandang ke laut
semua, ya. Dinding tu rumah residen kita tu, dinding tu dibuat oleh kaca,
semua kaca.
Ya. Suddenly this strange object datang. Warnanya biru, flying saucer, and about 6 meter away from me in front. But of course Datuk tak nampak sebab Datuk facing saya. Saya tengok pemandangan. So dia datang besar. Dia macam api biru, duduk gitu, kalau saya boleh dengar kan. Kemudian lagi satu tingkat tu, dia apinya putih, bright, glowing white with little yellow lights. So there I was captivated. I cannot talk. I thought I was telling Datuk, Di, look, UFO. Tapi Datuk waktu itu tengah baca paper, so dia tak pay attention to me. But maybe I was not shouting, but I thought I was shouting to ask him to turn to the back. Jadi agak
berapa lama tu?
2 minit.
2 minit.
And dia tu naik atas 5 kaki. Dia tapung-apung begitu, seolah-olah memandang kami.
Dia agak ini tengok apa lah dia makan.
Itu lepas tu about 2 minit, bila api itu zoom, dia sudah mau pergi. Dan saya kata, UFO. Jadi orang gaji pun datang semua, tapi Datuk balik dah habis. It goes very fast, nak duduk gitu. Kemudian I was so excited. I was so mesmerized over that. Then towards in the afternoon, around 3:30, the same day, it came out in the papers and in the television, in the berita, in the news in New Zealand, that someone, a New Zealander, saw this UFO in the afternoon. Though I was excited, I was quite upset because Datuk does not want to phone up the New Zealand media and say, yeah, we saw already in our territory, in our Malaysian residence. Yeah, it was our Malaysian resident at that time, is now on a hill, it's called Kandala Hill. Yeah, I will never forget that phenomena. Yeah.
Jadi saudara barangkali saudara pernah melihat ke ada benda-benda yang agak ajaib ataupun yang pelik-pelik tu, yang melayang tu, mana tahu kan barangkali itu di antara UFO yang disebutkan oleh Steve. Jadi pengalaman itu ya. Jadi kalau kita dah dengar tadi pengalaman daripada Datin yang sedang bersarapan, siap diingat lagi tu pakai pakaian macam mana ya?
Ya, saya ingat.
Pink blouse ya.
Ya, waktu itu saya kan setiap hari suka makan nasi goreng. Jadi excited. The next day diplomatic call, we were all talking about that. And then the Singapore High Commissioner's wife, Mrs. Chan, said, "Hey, Michiyo, I think they have taken your picture up there. They orang mesti duk kaji itu apa benda Malaysian lady ni makan. Maybe they have no rice up there."
Yeah, I think they wish to eat some of the nasi goreng. Okay. And before that, Steve, could you tell us? Are the these UFOs, are they in that kind of shape, or there are many other types of?
There seems to be, from description, seems to be many different kinds of shapes. The beam shape, there's long, thin shapes. We have a chap who witnessed a long, thin, glowing object over a playground in PJ. And again, he was not really believed by his family, so he's going to come along to the conference and tell us about it. So I think it's important that people stay calm and don't panic, really, is the message. Don't panic. It is, and not to feel strange or different, because many people have seen it, although it is obviously a privilege. Many people have seen this, and what we're doing, we're trying to put together a group of people that observe and research and listen to the reports and compile some serious research on the subject.
Jadi saudara, kata Steve tadi, kita UFO ni banyak bentuk, banyak saiz. Jadi apa yang dilihat oleh Datin tadi ialah yang sama lebih kurang macam itulah ya, berbulan itu, the flying saucer tu. Jadi yang ada di antara saudara mungkin ada melihatnya, dan kita ada seorang ni yang pernah melihatnya. Kalau tak silap saya, guru sekolah yang bernama Michael Pang ya. Jadi barangkali kita boleh berbicara dengan Cikgu Michael ni. Cik Michael. Halo Cik Michael.
Halo.
Apa khabar Cik Michael?
Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi. Sekarang dan pagi ni tidak mengajar ke?
Ada ke? Saya ada juga, tetapi sekarang masa free lah.
Okey. Ini saya difahamkan Encik Michael pernah melihat apa yang disebut sebagai UFO ini.
Ya.
Boleh ceritakan sikit pengalaman Encik Michael?
Pengalamannya?
Ya.
Ini berlaku pada tahun 72 lah.
72 lagi ya?
Lama juga. Tetapi pada masa itu saya balik daripada disco pada pukul 2 pagi lah. Jadi dekat ini dengan di Federal Highway, di dekat dengan itu EPF building.
Oh, dekat dengan
EPF building
di Petaling Jaya.
Petaling Jaya. Dulu ada itu lampu isyarat tau.
Ya.
Jadi oleh sebab lampu isyarat telah putuskan jadi merah, saya berhenti lah.
Ya.
Dan di sekeliling saya juga ada kereta-kereta yang lain juga berhenti. Dan dengan tiba-tiba saya nampak lambang ini, UFO. Dia terbang dari kiri ke kanan.
Kiri ke kanan ya? Kiri ke kanan.
Dan dia tidak mengeluarkan bunyi.
Oh, tak ada ya?
Tak ada bunyi. Dan dia berbentuk bulat dan berwarna putih. Nah, saya pun turunkan cermin kereta dan saya tunduk keluar. Saya nampak. Yang lain-lain juga, lain pemandu juga keluar nampak lembaga itu. Lepas itu bila lampu itu tukar kepada hijau, kita pun terus balik.
Ya. Teruskan Cik Michael?
Ya.
Teruskan?
Ya.
Teruskan. Ada tadi
itu adalah satu pengalaman yang satu lah. Yang kedua.
Oh, ada lagi.
Sebenarnya ada tiga
pengalaman. Yang kedua?
Yang kedua ini berlaku 1 tahun lepas itu loh.
1 tahun lepas?
1 tahun lepas. Pada bulan Disember juga. Yang pertama juga berlaku pada bulan Disember.
Oh, peristiwa di bulan Disember.
Dan ini berlaku juga pada 2:30 pagi lah.
2:30 pagi.
Saya tidur.
Ya.
Dan lepas itu saya dengar angin menyala. Banyak angin menyala tu. Jadi saya pun bangun, terjaga, saya bangun.
Ya.
Dan saya pandang keluar, saya nampak ada bulan terang tau. Jadi saya keluar dari rumah dan saya tengok saya sana, dengan tiba-tiba saya nampak UFO itu lagi sekali. Dan sama juga, bentuknya sama dan dia pun juga berwarna putih. Jadi dia terbang dari di langit. Itu adalah pengalaman kedua.
Yang ketiga.
Lepas itu beberapa bulan selepas itu, satu malam saya tidur lah. Saya pun anjing juga menyala, tetapi saya tidak bangun lah. Jadi esok pagi bila mak saya keluar pergi membeli sayur daripada penjual sayur itu lah, jiran saya tanya ibu saya lah. Dia kata mengapa semalam bila angin menyala ada satu lampu yang besar berwarna merah lah, di atas rumah saya.
Ya.
Itu saya tak tahu, tetapi ini jiran yang beritahu lah.
Jiran yang beritahu ya.
Ini adalah pengalaman ketiga lah. Tapi yang ketiga, pengalaman yang ketiga itu saya tak nampak lah. Saya tak nampak itu.
Orang lain nampak.
Yang nampak jiran itu. Tapi dekat rumah saya juga.
Mungkin dia nak kawan kot, kawan Cik Michael kot. Dia datang ni. Jadi Cik Michael kalau katakan bila ditemu tu, ada tak dimaklumkan kepada pihak-pihak berkenaan ke?
Maklum lah.
Ya.
Tak nampak lah.
Tak ada nampak tak? Nampak pula. Ada beritahu tak pada sesiapa yang berkenaan, pada pihak berkuasa ke? Selepas itu? Tak ada ya?
Saya tak beritahu. Sebab pada masa itu saya tak tahu apa benda itu. Lepas itu saya baru baca dalam surat khabar dan dalam majalah buku yang itu apa yang saya nampak ialah UFO.
Baik, terima kasih Cik Michael ya.
Itu
Saudara Michael Pang, seorang guru sekolah rendah kebangsaan Cina yang mengajar mata pelajaran bahasa Inggeris yang bakal yang telah pun berbicara dengan kita dan menceritakan pengalamannya. Dan ini di antara pengalaman ramai di antara warga kita yang pernah menyaksikan UFO. Kita kembali pada Steve. Ya, Steve. Now, apart from the size and the shape of these UFOs, now are there any sightings of the being that is in these UFOs?
Yes, I mean there are many reports of different classifications of beings within them, and there is somewhere of the order of 17 different types. If we're to believe what we're related by these accounts. They vary in size and shape, but almost always humanoid in shape, of different sizes.
Dan Datin pernah melihat ke yang memandu ke yang apa?
Oh, saya tak dapat lihat hari. Ya, cuma nampak glowing lights tu, blue sharp glowing lights. Jadi, tapi my UFO yang saya tengok tu, dia flying saucer tapi cuma satu tingkat. Dia like a disc. About 16 kaki in diameter. Oh,
16 kaki.
Ya, besar.
Oh. Jadi kita pasal kita tak dapat tengok ni, kita rasa ya Allah kalau dapat tengok kan bagus. And then kata-kata Steve pula, bila saya tanya sama ada tak orang nampak yang menerbangkan atau yang jadi juru terbang ni, makhluk asing ni, pernah nampak tak? Kata ada yang nampak dan ada ciri-ciri manusia sikit, ciri-ciri makan mata, mulut tu adalah ciri-ciri tu, tapi walaupun bukan manusia rupa bentuknya. Dan ini yang menarik barangkali ya. Dan now you said that there are some sightings, I mean all over the world there are, of course. What about in Malaysia? Were there any recorded sightings made? And if there are, how many?
Quite a lot. We have an excellent researcher locally in Kuantan, works with the veterinary department, Mr. Ahmad Jamaluddin, who has has been very, very helpful with some of the information. He has written many reports that have featured in worldwide magazines, but he has done some excellent research on UFO sightings between 1950 and to present day. And he's going to be talking at the conference on Sunday as well. So he's done some excellent pieces of research. And obviously, being a Muslim, he's got some thoughts on interpretation from his point of view, and he relates that there seems to be a correlation between seismic activity is one observation he's made, and the other one is that partly his interpretation is it's to do with the jinn in the Muslim context.
Oh, jinn. Yeah.
You know? So there are many interpretations of the phenomena, and so the observation of the phenomena is very, very interesting. And it takes many forms.
Steve kata banyak telahan yang dibuat mengenai UFO ini. Ada yang mengatakan bahawa ini adalah jin, adalah yang mengatakan ini makhluk asing, dan banyak interpretasi ataupun telahan-telahan masing-masing. Apapun nanti ada persidangan yang bakal dilangsungkan, nanti bincang tentang persidangan itu barangkali untuk mengkaji tentang apa sebenarnya telah dapat diterima, apa yang telah dapat dikumpul, dan antara orang yang bertanggungjawab di Malaysia ini, bukan bertanggungjawab tapi berminat untuk mengumpulkan bahan-bahan ini sejak tahun 50-an lagi, ialah Cik Ahmad Jamaluddin Ahmad Jamaluddin yang merupakan seorang pegawai yang bekerja di bahagian Jabatan Haiwan kalau tak silap saya. Jadi saudara, kita sembang-sembang sekarang ni tentang UFO. Jadi kalau anda pernah melihat UFO, bolehlah kita dengarkan pandangan anda. Salah seorang yang pernah melihat ini, yang dikatakan tak silap saya bertugas dengan seorang lagi. Yang ini namanya David Lee Jasper yang merupakan seorang pembentang kertas kerja, pembentang di dalam conference dan persidangan UFO yang bakal diadakan tidak lama lagi ini. Apa kata kita terus berbicara dengan Mr. David Lee Jasper, seorang graphic designer. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you.
All right. Have you seen more of these UFOs today?
Well, I guess I cannot count myself in the lucky group.
Yes, how lucky you are. Now, can you tell us your experience, David?
Okay, well, basically, I began my study in the subject at a young age, and about 15 years ago, I took the subject quite seriously and read as many books as I could get my hands on. And I would have to say that the body of evidence that supports the existence of UFOs is amazing, and I would have to say it's also overwhelming. I'm talking about well-documented cases that have been investigated by credible individuals that I would say offer reasonable proof and evidence to support the statements being made by the witnesses. This credible testimony will come from ordinary citizens and professionals and from individuals who would be classified as trained observers, like police officers and airplane pilots, both military and commercial, and as of lately, even reports coming from astronauts in regards to this phenomena, things that they have seen while out there in space. I would say on many occasions that individuals have had the opportunity to photograph, to record what they have seen.
What about you, David? Your own experience?
My own experience? Well, how could I say that? As I said in the beginning,
what did you see?
I'm not an individual who has had the eyewitness experience.
Oh, I see.
But however, in the course of my study, I came to the conclusion that seeing is not always believing, and
it's true.
that in the end, you have to look at the body of evidence.
Yeah, but what made you so engrossed in this UFO kind of thing?
What made me so
engrossed in this kind of thing? I mean, people may say that you believe in something, you believe in something unreal because it's not there, but people say it's there. So
well, it's once again, it goes back to the body of evidence. If you want to study anything, you have to, or accept anything, you have to look at the body of evidence that supports what you believe to be true, correct?
Right, right.
Just like a lawyer is pursuing a legal case, in order for him to win the case, he has to gather his body of evidence. You know? So that's what I did, was I studied the body of evidence, and then there were some cases that really captured my attention, which was the Billy Meyer case. Yes, in brief, I would say that that particular case is, hands down, it's the case that provides for individuals who are wanting to investigate a case.
Right. So, tell me more about your research. And how many records have you made? I mean, how many compilations of all the accounts, you know, the sightings that have you recorded?
Well, let me put it to you this way: that any individual that can become in their own right a researcher. I mean, but you can acquire materials, you can acquire information, you can study, you can do research, which is what you have to, rather than reinvent the wheel, you can study the reports that have been made by other investigators, and that's the best way that, at least for the average person, is to look at the case of this, as we see here on the screen.
Yes.
You study what did the investigators find when they went there. When I first found this book that we see the picture of, I was so amazed at the clarity of the photographs. I had seen many other UFO pictures, but none as so clear as these. It's almost as if the craft was posing for the photographer. I called the researchers, I called the publishers, and I say, okay, what's the story here? Spoke to a gentleman named Tom Welch, and he said, okay, we went over there to Switzerland with the intention of that we were going to expose this guy as a fraud. Okay, but when we went to the contact sites where the events took place that he photographed, there was something that we could even feel in the air, that as if, you know, something had indeed actually happened there, something that would not be able to be felt if indeed it was just something contrived. I don't know how to put this to you. They did such an in-depth study on this case, and there are so many levels of evidence in this particular case that you know, even if you can knock down one piece, that there are many other pieces that are still left to remain standing as far as evidence that indeed this is an actual contact case that has taken place in history.
Right. So thank you very much, David.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, saudara, David Lee Jasper, seorang warga Amerika sebenarnya, yang kini merupakan seorang pengkaji ataupun penyelidik UFO yang bakal membentangkan kertas kerjanya ataupun pandangannya di dalam persidangan UFO yang pertama di Malaysia. In fact, it will be the first nation.
Yeah,
first nation.
one.
Pertama di Malaysia, pertama juga di. Dan saudara, kita tak habis di sini sebenarnya. Kita akan sembang-sembang lagi kerana selepas ini kita akan tanya juga tentang, we were asking you, Steve, about the conference, okay, and also we asked you about the euphoria that you're talking about, right? And then we will also ask Datin what to do after you have seen a UFO. I mean, if I were to see an UFO, I don't know what to do. If I were to tell people, I might be shy because people will say I'm crazy. Although I cannot deny that sometimes I am crazy. Okay, so we will be coming back again. Tapi saudara, seperti mana yang dijelaskan tadi, kita akan sembang-sembang mengenai UFO ini, dan saya percaya ramai di antara anda berminat untuk mengikuti persidangannya. Jangan lupa untuk ikuti perbincangan kami selepas berita terkini untuk kita sembang-sembang lagi tentang objek terbang tidak dikenali. Jadi saudara, kita rehat seketika untuk berita terkini dan kita kembali selepas itu. Saudara, 8.33 pagi bersama saya, saudara pena anda Nizal Mohamad, dan tetamu kita hari ini ialah Datin Michiyo Yusof serta Steve Foley. Datin merupakan seorang saksi kepada apa yang disebut UFO, objek terbang tidak dikenali, ketika dia mengikut suaminya bertugas di New Zealand sebagai pesuruhjaya tinggi New Zealand, suaminya, Datuk sebenarnya. Dan kita ada Steve Foley. Steve Foley ini ialah seorang pengumpul bahan-bahan maklumat mengenai UFO dan juga penganjur persidangan UFO pertama di Malaysia, malahan merupakan yang pertama di Asia. Jangan marah, saudara. Jadi kita nak sembang-sembang sekali lagi. Baik. Ini pasal kita nak cerita tentang ini pada Datin ya. Sudah kita nampak tu, apa yang nak kita buat kalau bagi mereka yang tiba-tiba nampaklah UFO ke mana-mana ke, dan nampak macam ada benda-benda melayang sikit tu. Okey, apa harus dilakukan oleh orang tu? Macam Datin sendiri lah, pengalaman Datin sendiri.
Macam saya bila saya ternampak begitu, saya jadi kagum, tak boleh bercakap. You cannot talk. Tapi dalam hati you tahu, oh ini UFO, ini UFO. You know? Yeah.
Dan lepas tu apa yang Datin buat?
Oh, lepas tu bila ada UFO dah pergi, well, I got up, so excited. I was jumping around for many days. I was jumping up and down. I was so excited. I was phoning all my friends, you know, telling them, for days and months.
But what was
so
the reaction? Were there people? Ada tak orang kata Datin ni mungkin ada tak betul ke? Macam mana? Ada ke yang mengatakan somebody say that you kuku ke? Ada?
Tak ada. Sebab during those days pun dah duk nampak UFO kan. Jadi because saya nampak betul-betul kan. So I make a wish when I saw the UFO.
What was that wish?
Well, I make a wish. I wish I will always stay young. But I don't know.
Nampaknya menjadi nampaknya.
Seems to be working.
Seems to be working. Right, Steve. Now, how can you sum that up? I mean, if somebody sees a UFO, someone say, I mean, what would be your advice to them? Would they run and say, "Hey, I saw a UFO," you know,
Yes.
or would they just keep quiet and keep to themselves because they don't want to be said? I mean, don't want to be accused as cuckoo and.
I think the first thing is to realise that it's not just you. There's many other people had this experience. So the first thing is to remain calm. And I think, with respect, Datin's case is classic. She reacted very, very well.
In fact, she felt very honoured to be meeting with a UFO. Eh?
I mean, you should try to remain calm. Try to get witnesses. If you have a camera, now it's not often you would take a camera to the breakfast table, so you're excused on that one.
Get a camera.
Camera if you have it. Immediately after the sighting, try to make notes of everything you saw, how you felt, what was the size, the description of the thing that you've seen. Write down any names and addresses of witnesses if there are witnesses. If the UFO touched the ground, try to protect the site in some way and don't disturb it, photograph it. If it happened some time ago, as in your case, still write it down, try to remember. I mean, Datin's recall is great. She knew what she was wearing, she knew what she was eating. That was great.
But I've written everything down, but then we were posted in various countries, so it got lost.
Oh, maybe we can recap that and do it and sort of.
But the memory is still with me.
Redo it at the
Nobody
conference,
can
maybe.
erase that memory.
Blouse and skirt.
Yes.
That's great.
And I was eating fried rice.
And obviously, if people do have an account, we'd like to hear from them. We've put together a group called Euphoria, which is UFO research in Asia, which is a nice Malaysian pun because it's UFO and Ria. So it's a nice, a happy title. So we hope to collect a body of evidence and then hopefully make that available to members of the group as part of the research, and we will give a kind of a starter pack of research with the conference notes, so people can get sources of where to find out more information and how to get information from the internet and locally and talk to people like Michael Pang and Ahmad Jamaluddin in comfort.
Jadi saudara, kalau katakan anda melihat UFO, kata Steve, yang pertamanya anda harus tenang. Macam Datin itu tenang sungguh tu. Kemudian lepas itu anda haruslah menarik, kalau boleh cari orang untuk sama-sama jadi saksi. Artinya kalau anda nampak, katalah kalau Datin nampak, Datin turun Datuk tengok, tapi Datuk tak sempat nak tengok. Pusing-pusing je dah lari dah UFO itu. Jadi cari saksi sekali. Kemudian ketiganya, kalau boleh dapatkan kamera, ambil gambar. Kalau boleh. Itu yang menariknya. Kalau dapat, kalau tak dapat, tak apalah, itu kalau ada. Kemudian yang keempat ialah membuat catatan. Selepas saja melihat UFO itu buat catatan tentang saiz dia, tentang warnanya, dan diberi gambaran apa sebenarnya yang dilihat. Juga kalau boleh dapatkan nama dan alamat mereka yang juga sama-sama menyaksikan peristiwa penemuan UFO itu. Dan yang kelimanya ialah, kalaulah katakan UFO ini menyentuh tanah, katakan, kawasan itu pastikan bahawa dia terjaga, tidak diganggu, supaya dapat dibuat kajian teliti mengenai tempat yang telah UFO itu turun. Dan kalau di Malaysia ini, Malaysia untungnya ialah ditubuhkan satu bentuk macam satu kelab ataupun satu persatuan, satu perkumpulan yang dinamakan Euphoria, iaitu UFO Research in Asia. UFO Research in Asia. Jadi kalau anda ingin berkongsi pengalaman, Euphoria bersedia untuk mengambil dan mengutip pengalaman anda itu dan disimpankan dalam kanun khazanah mereka. Apapun, saudara, persidangan yang menariknya, persidangan yang pertama di Asia dan di Malaysia ini tentang UFO bakal dilangsungkan pada 17 Disember ini. Barangkali kalau anda ingin tahu, boleh kita bicarakan sedikit dengan Steve. Steve, can you tell us more about this conference, the first UFO conference in Asia and Malaysia?
Yeah. What we want to try to do is to make it very Malaysian and also give the people that are interested in the topic more information about what has happened, the story so far in ufology, as it were. So we're going to be looking at the recent sightings at Sepang. We have some of the Star newspaper team who covered that to tell us about that, with Jason Cheer, Benjamin Chen and Ricky Lai. And then we're going to look at also the sightings over the last 30 years with Ahmad Jamaluddin, Malaysian sightings. Michael Pang, who you've just spoken to, will tell us about identifiable flying objects, common mistakes that are made, and there are many. And then the theories of propulsion on UFOs. You know, one of the most frequently asked questions, of course, is, well, it takes us so long to get into space. How come they can come here so quickly?
So quickly.
Yeah. We will look at that, and we'll actually see some of the footage that will possibly explain that. So we're going to show some video films of footage. We're going to look at the case study of the Maya case in some depth, which we've seen some footage of with David Lee Jasper. And then I'll be covering the Roswell incident, another milestone in UFO history, which happened in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, where supposedly a craft crashed. There were 5 bodies on board, 3 of which were dead, 1 injured and 1 alive, apparently. So there is video footage purporting to be the autopsy of one of the dead aliens, so we will show that at the conference. So ultimately people will be asked to make their own decision as to what they do or don't believe. So we will provide them with a pack of information to get started on their research and to know more.
That's very interesting. Jadi saudara, persidangan UFO yang pertama di Malaysia dan di Asia ini akan memuatkan banyak bahan. Antara bahan-bahan yang diberikan, yang akan bakal disalurkan kepada anda ialah pengalaman-pengalaman di Malaysia. Yang terbaru ini ialah mengenai penemuan UFO di Kampung Tanjung Sepat Darat. Jadi di Sepang, dan barangkali pengalaman-pengalaman dari wartawan dari sebuah akhbar tempatan, dan juga pengalaman kajian yang dibuat oleh seorang pengkaji UFO ini di Malaysia, iaitu Cik Ahmad Jamaluddin, yang telah pun disebut tadi namanya oleh Steve, serta pengalaman-pengalaman di tempat lain, kajian kes beberapa tempat seperti yang kita tengok gambar tadi yang dibuat oleh Mr. Edward Myers ini, yang seorang petani cacat waktu di Switzerland yang telah membuat penggambaran itu. Serta kita akan dengar juga daripada David Lee Jasper, seorang warga Amerika yang kini belajar di Malaysia. Barangkali ini di antara bahan-bahan yang menarik. Antara yang bahan menarik disebutkan juga ialah tentang video, rakaman video mengenai makhluk yang dikatakan dipercayai penemuan makhluk asing, dan bagaimana pada suatu ketika pada tahun 47 47 di New Mexico, katanya ada sebuah sebuah UFO jatuh, kapal angkasa terjatuh, terhempas, dan daripada 5 makhluk asing yang ditemui, 3 mati dan 2 lagi hidup, dan ada dibuat sedikit gambaran mengenai itu. Barangkali ini mungkin akan memberikan gambaran yang lebih terdekat lagi mengenai makhluk asing dan juga UFO ini. Jadi saudara, ini di antara perkara-perkara yang menarik yang bakal saudara saksikan. Apapun barangkali kiranya anda ingin mengikuti persidangan itu, anda boleh menghubungi Mr. Steve Foley. Alright, do you have a phone number that they can contact you?
Yes, if they would like to call the conference office on 774 8179 or 8690.
8690.
I had to think twice there.
Alright. Kalau anda ingin mengikuti persidangan ini dan berkongsi pengalaman anda sendiri, anda boleh menghubungi Steve Foley di talian 774-8179 atau 774-8690. Dan mungkin akhir sekali, barangkali Datin nak beri nasihat kepada mereka yang mungkin pernah melihat dan apa yang mereka nak buat. Boleh Datin nak berikan apa-apa?
My advice, nasihat, kalau kita dah jumpa UFO, janganlah bimbang, takut ni orang kata kita ni gila ke, mimpi ke, kan? Sebab itu benda yang benar. Siapa mau cakap kalau tak benar, kan?
Jadi jangan takutlah, kata dengan Datin. Itu pengalaman, kongsi-kongsi pengalaman. Dan barangkali Datin pun nanti akan duduk serta dalam persidangan itu, saya percaya.
Saya pun syukur, alhamdulillah lah saya boleh nampak UFO, kan? Bukan semuanya dikurnia Allah boleh tengok, kan?
Itulah, saya pun sebenarnya saya cemburu ni. Okay, Steve, anything, a last message about UFO that you would like to know?
Well, if we're to believe what the message is coming through, is that obviously don't panic, and that the message appears to be from Edward Meyer and from all of these people, is that to try to get in touch with your spiritual side in parallel with your technological development, and that stop trying to blow yourselves up as a humankind. If you could send that message to France, I think.
Okey, saudara. Itu tadi pengalaman-pengalaman dapat kita kutip dari rakan-rakan warga kita yang telah menyaksikan dan juga buat kajian tentang UFO, objek terbang tidak dikenali. Jadi, kalau anda nampak ini, jangan tanya saya tidak kepercayaan saya, kerana itu sendiri pengalaman sejarah. Jadi, kalau ingin berkongsi, boleh berkongsi dengan mereka yang turut serta dalam persidangan. Terima kasih kepada Datin dan Steve Foley for being with us today.
Thank you.
Okay.